Okay, so thank you to Ken for publishing this book. I published on a tweet, one story, asking about that. So I'm going to read from the novel, but I sort of streamlined a section because, you know, here we are together. So, all you need to know at this point is the narrator, Nick Bray, has just come home from his father's funeral in Florida. He lives here in San Francisco, and so he's the first person in the narrative. All right. This is from Chapter 2, in which Nick Bray performs a rapid and frank accounting of his career path and meets a special friend. At the time of my father's death, I temped at an internet porn company named Perv, specialists in the niche of industrial machine porn. They were the masters of mechanized fucking, the doctors of advanced dildonics, the mad laboratory of steampunk sex and electrostimulation work. Connoisseurs of Perv's niche preferred zero male participation, and the models were post-punk, vampire gothy, or wholesome farm girls with a thing for the combine. The building Perv purchased was south of Market in a foreboding ex-armory, which still bore the black and yellow signs labeled Fallout Shelter. The ground floor housed a reception area and a spacious machine shop. The top floors were all business and admin, plus a dot-com-ish rec room packed with amenities that flowed down Howard and Bryant at 6 cents on the dollar when the vaporware companies tanked. A freight elevator connected the machine shop to the studios below street level. Once in a while, you would see a new girl sitting in the reception area for an interview. The working actresses steered clear of the upper floors, where our bored army spent most of their days processing hardcore images or dealing with the mundane cash flows surrounding Perv's enormous profits. Perv's founders still took an active interest in the business, being passionistas themselves of the unity of woman and machine. Ray Vance was an old hippie machinist from Fresno, and his partner Colin Baker was a Stanford MBA and a tech startup burnout. They were frequently in the machine shop together, among the partially assembled pneumatic pumps and small tool engines, fiddling with robotics and silicone molds, while the production assistants ran the business end parts from the day's shoots through the commercial dishwashers and autoclaves. It all smelled vaguely of acetylene and industrial lubricants and popcorn. As Ray Vance had an insatiable appetite for the buttery stuff and kept a full-scale movie theater popcorn machine stocked all day long. In the open lot behind the machine shop, a circle of wooden picnic tables allowed for lunch outside. Short on cash, I was on the 1 burrito a day diet. You fuckers know this. Yeah. Coffee for breakfast, half a burrito for lunch, and the other half for dinner. Ray Vance spotted me a bag of popcorn for my walk home. My job consisted of finalizing and uploading the videos to Perv's websites, writing some of the video descriptions, and editing and partially censoring video stills for the teaser pages. Thankfully, we were all required to wear headphones, or else the top floor would have sounded like a great sapphic polyphonic orgy in an auto assembly line. After a couple of weeks, complete porn desensitization set in, but I was increasingly perplexed by how to wittily describe the intersection of Black & Decker, synthetic appendages, and wax-balled vaginas. The cubicle I inherited was peppered with cheat sheets of nouns, verbs, and adjectives. A web page on the Perv intranet helped web temp monkeys like myself keep the machine names straight. It showed each machine with a brief video clip so that we would never accidentally disappoint our loyal following by calling a machine by the wrong name. We were reminded constantly to refer to it. In a company-wide email one morning, Colin Baker underscored the importance of this act of accuracy by sharing a not uncommon customer service email. The message was from 36-month member, $1,078.20, big old boy, Don Lemon, 39-year-old investment advisor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, calling attention to the fact that in video number 278, Go On Down on the Funny Farm, we had misrepresented Licksaw's top tongue speed at 3,000 CHM, clip hits per minute, when in video 112, Lumberjacking Time, Licksaw's control dial clearly indicated a maximum upper limit of 4,500 CHM. Could we please clear up the disparity? So, when I returned from Florida, exhausted, I accidentally made the mistake of labeling a robot Captain Fucktronic, when it was actually the Dildinator. It did not help matters that Captain Fucktronic and the Dildinator were major rivals in Burke's sci-fi miniseries, Warp Driver. Word reached the machine shop an hour later. Colin Baker rounded up the entire support staff in the rec room for an emergency meeting. We filed in to find Ray Vance sitting in his oversized stuffed purple chair, a prop ripped straight from a Dr. Seuss book. He looked dejected, bits of popcorn nestled in the long salt and pepper of his beard. Colin Baker waited until the room was full, and then stormed in for maximum dramatic effect, his shirt sleeves cuffed by equal centimeters to the elbows. An LCD projector descended from the ceiling. Colin stood beside Ray Vance, sad porn robot king, and pointed a remote at the laptop connected to the projector. A bright image of Captain Fucktronic and all of his weaponized appendages filled the walls. "People," Colin began. "Who is this?" "Captain Fucktronic," we all said. Ray Vance turned his head and looked at the screen lovingly. The PowerPoint slide advanced. The action shot of the Dildinator appeared. "Very good. Now who is this?" "The Dildinator," we said, a little more with it. "Wow, hey, that's right. Gosh, it's hard to understand how we managed to fuck up so bad today. See how you all clearly can see the difference between the two." Colin advanced the slide, and both robots appeared side by side. "Just in case someone out there is not quite clear, let me point out a few of the more obvious differences." Colin waved his laser pointer over the two robots in shaky circles. "Here, and here, and here. See?" We murmured assent. "If anyone still doesn't get it, we can arrange for a free first-hand experience with the two. I assure you the differences will be vivid." The room was silent. Ray Vance sighed heavily. "It just bums me out, man," he said in a low voice. "These are like my kids." Colin nodded vigorously. "Yeah, you know who else it bums out? Our paying members. You know, the ones with the credit cards." The lights brightened and Colin closed his laptop with a snap. He hung his head like a disappointed father, squeezed Ray's shoulder reassuringly. "Folks, never forget this. We are storytellers. This magic enterprise of ours, it's about creating and maintaining the unbroken arc of a fantastic realm. When we make mistakes, even smaller ones than this, the inconsistencies destroy the fantasy, and our fans are rudely blue-balled by our sloppiness." This is in 1999. We're not the only machine erotica shop in the game anymore. Members have choices. We may be the first, and we may be the best, but we're only the best because we're customer service fanatics. Do I need to rent Tony Shea for an hour to cheer you fuckers up? Attention to detail, people. When we fail to uphold the high standards for our members, they notice and we lose market share. Ray Vance rescued an edible kernel from his beard and consoled himself. "I remember the day they were born." Colin Baker met each of our eyes, hands on hips. "You want to go through the motions? Start filling out your apps for Starbucks." Dismissed. We began our penguin waddle out. The idea of free coffee and working with fully clothed women in aprons was far more arousing than another 8 hours pixelating assholes. Then, "Nick, can we talk with you for a minute?" It was as if they read my thoughts. "You have not been thoroughly blacklisted from temporary employment until your agency finds out you were shit-canned from a porn company. They've been notified prior to the meeting and hung up on me when I called to request a new assignment. The guy with biceps like grapefruit escorted me to the lobby. I remembered my half-eaten burrito in the fridge. Since I didn't think Ray Vance would come charging out with a fare-thee-well bag of popcorn, I couldn't leave the burrito behind. I pleaded with the security guy, and he reluctantly disappeared back upstairs to fetch it for me. This is when I met Sadie Parrish. She was a loose-limbed, red-haired beauty with a cosmic calm and twee librarian's glasses above a bridge of light freckles. On her lap, a back issue of Circuit Seller magazine lay open. Her lips moved slightly as she read. I blurted, "You don't want to work here." She squinted at me through her glasses. "How do you know where I want to work?" "I don't know where you want to work, but I know where you don't want to work, and that would be here." She closed her magazine. "Sounds like you might have a problem with female empowerment, huh?" "Are you kidding? Please tell me you're kidding. Why would I be kidding?" "Well, let me see if I can put it another way. When was the last time you were double penetrated by twin 8H dildos driven by a 6-speed Chevy transmission? When she laughed and looked away, I noticed the Apple logo on the back of her neck. She said, "Is that how you ask all the girls out for coffee?" I asked you for coffee? Maybe I asked me for you. And what did you say? I said, "Yes, that's pretty unusual." She opened a magazine again. "I'm not walking out on this interview. Wait for me. They won't hire you with the tattoo on your neck. No trademarks, logos, rights-managed characters, or likenesses on the actresses. If you had one of those trashy tribal wingding things, no problem. But logos, post-production would go out of their mind, tracking and blurring it. And it would ruin it for the members anyway. The thing is, they won't tell you that until you've auditioned. You know what I mean?" She bit her bottom lip and seemed genuinely deflated. Fucked before I was fucked. The way of the world. Security returned with my burrito. "Alrighty, time to go." He held the burrito at arm's length like a full diaper, and I took it. He held the door, a gesture of civility I owed to Sadie's presence, I was sure. I stepped outside into the afternoon wind. She leaned over to look at me through the open door. "So, I guess it's coffee o'clock," she said. I had to shout as the traffic crowded past. "I can't afford to buy you a cup of coffee, but I can offer you half of a burrito." I waggled my full package in the air. She stood up and rolled her magazine as if to scold a dog. She stepped into that cold and descending light. The security guard shut the door, and we were among the windblown garbage. "What if I loan you a cup of coffee?" she said. "That's sort of a relief. It was my last half burrito." "Please, please, shut up. You had me at double penetration." The fog brushed over the hills above South San Francisco. The 49 Mission Van Ness bus lumbered up from the curb and left us there with a poorly understood but shared secret. Once in your life you should be so lucky to meet someone like this. Meet someone improbably and understand every meaningless moment guided you to this high-speed collision. Take it all as a gift if it comes to you like this. I would offer one caveat, however. Before it comes, file a small prayer that the girl you met has no ambitions to become the country's first domestic suicide bomber. Because Sadie did. And who was I to dissuade her from her life's ambition?